Welcome back. Now, in recent years, buying fishing tackle directly from Japan has become a very popular practice among anglers. And two major reasons for me to buy directly from Japan. Now, number one is to get the newest and the craziest stuff I simply cannot get where I live. Doesn't matter if it's a saltwater or if it's a super finesse freshwater fishing tackles, you name it. You can get anything, everything you could imagine of. And the second is, of course, to take advantage of the favorable exchange rate. But now, with the de minimis tax exemption going away at the end of August and the ever-evolving importation duty situation, now if you are an US-based angler, buying fishing tackle from Japan in 2025 and beyond has turned into a very different scenario. Now, how much tariff or duty are we really paying now? And is the rate all the same across the board? And is everything related to fishing subject to importation duties? In today's video, I'm sharing my experience of buying tackle directly from every popular Japanese online websites post-August 2025. Now, if you are based outside the US, don't go away, because I have those tips that's pretty much in general will help you to save money when you're buying tackle from Japan. So early August this year, my trolling motor unfortunately broke. So while I was waiting for the parts to show up, I went party boat fishing using slow pitch jig. Then I became a little hooked to those slow pitch jigging, and you know what's next. So I started to buy all sorts of jigs and rods and reels and hooks and lines and accessories all from Japan. Now, after this $800 duty exemption rule went away to today, I've made about like a dozen orders from Japan from the websites, including the Japan Reel Shop, Platt, Digitaka, Asian Portal, Fish Shop, Kiwi, and so on and so forth. So here's what I found after looking through the invoice, shipping, and total cost of all these orders. We, the buyer, in most cases, pay for the importation duty. Now, there might be exemptions, but I would like to talk more in detail about this later. The importation duties of a fishing tackle has no exemption on how much your order is really worth. Now, my order as low as $36 worth of a landing net frame was subject to the importation duty. The importation duty on fishing tackle from Japan was 15% across the board. It does not appear to matter where the products were actually made in. Now, as long as the vendor is shipping from Japan, the duty imposed was automatically 15%, including the products made in countries outside of Japan, which were in those much higher tariff bracket. Now, they were all treated the same as made in Japan. Now, my guess is, this is more of a practical issue. Well, for instance, I've recently placed several orders of metal jigs like these with like assisted hooks, swivels, solid rings, etc. Now, there are more than 50 small items in each of those orders. And there is simply no way the vendor would be able to spend the time and filling the manufacturer countries for each of those 50 items in each of the orders. Unfortunately, there are more fees, almost hidden fees we need to pay other than the 15% duty. Now, to process the importation duty, the tackle orders has to be processed through a broker. So that's considered a service, I guess, which is not free. Now, typically, the broker is someone in the shipping company the vendor used. So it could be FedEx, DHL, or UPS. They charge slightly different broker process fees. Now, DHL, as more and more Japanese vendors seem to be exclusively using, charges about $17 for each importation case, and UPS charges about $15. And this is a flat rate fee regardless of how much the value of the goods are. Now, then aside from this, there is regulatory fee amounts to anywhere from 1.3 to 1.5 US dollars. Also appears to be flat rate. So regardless of the value of each imported goods or order from Japan, there is about $16 to $18 baseline fee you have to pay now. This is almost like a hidden fee. So please be aware when you place the order because of this hidden fee. Now, you don't want to only order 1 or 2 low-value objects in one order. For example, I broke my landing net fishing for salmon, so I ordered a net frame which costs about $35 in total. But the importation duty was assessed at $5, plus DHL added about $17 for broker fee and $1.3 for the regulatory fee. So the actual duty fee became $23, which is more than 60% of the cost of the actual net frame itself. Adding the shipping cost, I ended up paying $77 total for a $35 net. Now, this is not cheap at all. Hopefully, you can learn from my lesson. Should you still buy from Japan? Depends on what you want to buy, I guess. Now, I have classified the tackle into the following category. The first category is stuff you absolutely want but cannot find anywhere else other than a JDM. Then 100% yes, like the folding landing net frame I just talked about. So the second category is the stuff you can't get from either Japan or the US. Then it depends on the difference of the final cost. Now with the importation duty and the broker fee, now you really want to calculate the out-of-door price of this tackle from Japan. Now factor in the duty, the broker fee, then compare with the cost plus tax here in the US. Now the exchange rate of Japanese yen to US dollar as of the time I am making this video is still working to our favor. Now the MSRP of JDM tackle sold in the United States is essentially the MSRP in Japan divided by 100. For example, looking at the Calcutta.MD, on the Shimano website, the MSRP is about 65,000 Japanese yen, and its US MSRP is about $650. But when you're buying from Japan, now the JDM vendor sites usually have some sort of a discount off of the Japan MSRP. So on top of that is the favorable exchange rate. So talking about the listed price of the same tackle alone on the JDM website, those are typically 30 to 40% lower than the listed US MSRP to begin with. Now factor in the duty and the broker fee, you can still expect a saving by buying from Japan in general. But the saving margin has become much less. Now exactly how much saving is really dependent on where you buy, because the Japanese vendors have different importation duty payment plan, which I will be talking about in the next video. What exactly is the process, including duty payment for ordering fishing tackle from Japan in 2025? Now you place the order and you pay the total cost listed on the website. Vendor ships your order, then you will get a bunch of messages from the carrier or shipping company when it's picked up, when it's departed from Japan. Be very careful to expect a message saying importation duty due. Now click the link to pay, something like that. Now, this is how you get the link to pay for the duty and the broker fee. Now if you don't pay for the duty in a couple of days, usually 5 business days, your order will be returned to the vendor. So this is also very different from previous procedures. Now they used to keep moving your package, so you will receive the package first, and then you get a paper mail later saying you owe them the duty. Then you pay the duty after you receive the package. The difference is, now before, you will always get your package. Now, if you don't pay the duty on time, your package gets returned. Now this will be really nasty because if you have paid for the package and the shipping, but somehow you missed the message and you didn't really pay the duty on time and your package gets returned. Now, if you discuss with the vendor to cancel the order, you lose your shipping fee, or if you need the order, you will have to pay for the shipping again. After it was returned to the vendor, you have to have them basically send it again, right? So furthermore, what if you received a defect product, or if the product is damaged during shipping? And by the time you receive the package, you have already paid the duty and the broker fee. Now you need to return it, and if you want a replacement, most likely you will have to pay for the duty and the broker fee again. Well, on this point, I have not yet have any personal experience, and I hope I won't run into these problems. Now, if you have more insights into these scenarios, please leave a comment and share your story. But before we move on, just want to point out, it is very important now to leave a good cell phone number when placing the order. Or once you get an email notification with a tracking number, you need to always keep an eye on the status and pay the duty ASAP. Let's talk about payment process. Now this is the part you really need to watch out. Because the main reason everyone is buying tackle from Japan is the attractive price due to the favorable exchange rate. Now when you look at the price of, say, the reel or the other stuffs in your shopping cart, the vendor website usually gives you the currency options. It could be in Japanese yen or US dollars or euros or some other currencies, right? So these are not just showing you the cost in different currency. Now when you go through the payment, any currency that is not in Japanese yen will automatically implement the exchange rate listed on the website. And conveniently, those exchange rates are listed in small fonts somewhere on the corner of the page. Now, the exchange rate is typically a few percent higher than the bank rate. So when you check out, remember to choose Japanese yen as a currency to avoid these exchange rates hike. Then, when you are actually brought to the payment page, there is another little exchange rate trap. Now, if you are using PayPal, for instance, you need to make sure to click the currency option and then choose Pay in Japanese yen. Now, otherwise, the same thing will happen. Now, PayPal would use its own rate, which is a couple percent higher than the bank rate. Now, if you choose, say, USD when checkout at the website, then goes to the PayPal. The PayPal will show exactly the US dollar numbers, exactly as you see on the website. For a 400 USD order, if you use either the website rate or the PayPal rate, now the actual price you are paying will be about $20 higher than you actually use your bank rate. Now to avoid this exchange rate hike, you need to make sure also your credit card allow you to pay in Japanese yen directly. Now some of the cards will charge a foreign currency exchange fee for each of the transactions. So you do need to watch out for that as well. Now my card does not really charge exchange fee, so paying Japanese yen directly gets me the lowest actual cost. So what we have just talked about was the stuff you need to pay attention to when ordering fishing tackle directly from Japan 2025 in general. But there are now a few JDM tackle websites. So who offers the lowest actual price and who offers the best service if you want an exchange or refund, and who is good to get one-piece rods with secure shipping, and who provides the fastest shipping if you want something from Japan in a hurry. That's what we will talk about in detail in our next video. Now I know I have been slacking for almost half a year now due to really busy work and busy fishing. But I guess with the weather being a little less ideal more often, my video season just got started. So hopefully you find today's content helpful, and if so, help me to hit that subscribe button and type lines until next time.